Reading is something most people don't like doing, most especially students. This happens due to the fact that you don't find what interests you at all. Due to negative past experiences, you seem not to be interested in reading simply because you are being forced to do reading assignments, you are being forced to read things that are not interesting to you. You find it very difficult to comprehend anything you read at any point in time. And because of this, you don't like studying. To perform well as a student, it is important to cultivate the habit of reading, because it is this habit of reading that will help you to be able to understand whatever you've been taught, to be able to assimilate and acquire knowledge as a student, and also it will help you develop as a person. Also, this habit of reading will make it very easy for you to learn anything from a reading text, which will actually help you acquire relevant skill as an individual. Now, how can you then cultivate the habit of reading in order to reap the benefits I stated earlier? On today's video, I'm going to be discussing with you the actions that you need to take in order to cultivate the habit of reading. And these actions that I'll be stating to you that you can take, it will make you see reading as something that is very easy to you and you won't find it difficult at any point in time. If you are new onto this channel, I'm Abayomi, and right here on this channel, I provide informations and I drop videos on how you can learn effectively, pass your exam exceedingly, and how you can actually improve as a student. And if that sounds like something you are interested in, please consider subscribing to my channel right now. An habit is an automatic behavior you exhibit without thinking about the action. Before an habit can be cultivated, it shouldn't cause any form of pain. That is, it should be something you enjoy doing. Now think about any form of habit you've cultivated over time. That is, brushing your teeth and taking your bath every day. Do you feel pain before you actually do these activities? Do you actually consciously think about the action before you do it? It is simply automatic because you've cultivated this habit over time. And before you can do this habit, you are not anticipating any form of pain because you've done it over time, and it's something that you actually find pleasurable, and it's something that you know you have to do at any point in time. So this also applies to reading. If you really want to cultivate the habit of reading, it shouldn't cause you any pain. It should be something you enjoy doing. And the main obstacle that is actually hindering students from cultivating the habit of reading is simply because this activity causes them pain. There are pain associated with this activity. That's why a lot of students don't like reading and they tend not to cultivate the habit of reading. Now, I could remember when I was in secondary school, I hate reading so much, and anytime I'm given a reading assignment, I tend not to read it. And I discovered then it's simply because anytime I pick up a book, I seem not to understand anything I'm reading, and in fact, I find it difficult to pay attention to what I'm reading. And this is the major reason why I don't like reading at all. So it's got to a point whereby I discover a particular thing that interests me most, which is government. When I was in secondary school, I like anything government, and the teacher then actually made it very simple to me. So I actually enjoy reading government textbook, and this is where it all started, because without thinking, I just pick up the government textbook and I read it because I find it interesting. And all of a sudden, I created the habit of reading out of the fact that I like reading government, and over time, I found it easy. Now, I was able to build the habit of reading due to the fact that I found my interest and I did it every day. Over the years, when I go to the university, I come to have interest in anything that has to do with psychology or brain, that has to do with the study of brain. And due to the fact that I enjoy this venture, I pick up any book that has to do with brain, that has to do with psychology, because I love it, because I like doing it, and it doesn't make me to think, doesn't make me to anticipate any form of pain whenever I want to do. So likewise, if you want to create any habit of reading, you as a student, you have to think about what interests you most and find books related to that. And if you keep doing it every day, you will find it that you are not going to actually find reading very difficult to do. An habit is a reading. At first, you tend to take conscious efforts in doing that particular venture, and over time it becomes automatic. So anytime you want to create the habit of reading, you have to consciously take the action. You have to be kind of disciplined to do it. And a lot of students actually run away also, because when they encounter a voluminous book, they tend to run away and they feel that they cannot actually finish it. But in this video, I'm going to be showing you the steps that you need to take step by step, no matter how much the book is, and no matter how voluminous you think it is, that you cannot assimilate it, and no matter the kind of pain that is associated with the fact that you don't like reading. On this video, I'm going to be putting justice to that, and at the end of this video, you will be able to start cultivating the habit of reading. You take action on the things I'm talking about. Now, if you are finding this video helpful, please click on the like button in order for this video to be able to spread to other people that will be learning what I'll be sharing with you on this video. Now, the first step that you need to take, which I took, is that you should start with books that interest you the most. This is where you actually create this dopamine. This is where you actually create this happiness and this joy that comes with reading. Because if you start with books that are not interesting to you, or you start with books that you find difficult in reading, you tend to be having kind of negative perception about reading, and you won't enjoy the process. Reading is very interesting venture, but you can only find it interesting if you read what interests you. So if you are someone that likes reading science, you can get books that are related to science and start reading something that is science. If you are someone that likes something politics, start reading newspapers, start getting things that are related to politics, and with this, it will actually help you enjoy the process. Now, for example, for me, like I said, when I was in secondary school, I found government interesting, so I started picking up textbooks about government. But over time, I tend to realize that I also love psychology. So I like reading anything that has to do with human behavior, study about the brain and all sorts. So I can stay all night, I can stay all day reading this book because it gives me joy, and it kind of builds a form of curiosity in me and want to learn more. You as a person, you have to find something that interests you, and you have to start reading something, and with that, you won't anticipate any form of pain, and it won't restrain you from the activity, and also you find it enjoyable and interesting. Now, another thing that I want you to do is to build a reading routine. It could be in the morning, afternoon, or night. Now, most of the time, I like reading in the night before I go to sleep. Now, this is because there are no distractions, there are no things that can distract me, and this activity of reading is a deep work. It requires optimum attention and optimal focus. So you should always make sure that any time that you'll be fixing that you want to read anything that interests you at this point, you should look for times that you are always alone, that you will not find distracting. So most of the time I pick evening times to read, and this evening time I like reading on the bed. And the reason is, actually reading on the bed makes me have this perception that it is something that is not a serious venture, because if I find myself reading on the table, I'll be sleeping and it will seem too serious to me. So I read on the bed, and when I'm reading on the bed, it is actually very interesting to me, and over time I discovered that I cultivated the habit of reading, and I found reading interesting. So if it is in the morning that you like reading, fine, go for it. If it's in the afternoon that you like reading, fine, go for it. If it's in the night, just go for anything that works for you and pick up something that interests you. That is the next thing, is to start small. For example, you can have a book that is so much like this, and you start thinking that, when will I finish this particular book? Because this is a book called The Personal MBA, because I found reading books on business very interesting these days, and I just got this book. Now, if you are encountered with this type of book, for example, you might be thinking that, oh, this type of book is so much, when will I finish it? But then I started reading this book bit by bit. I can just read from page 1 to page 5 the first instance, then I'll drop it and go back and read another number of pages. You are not expected to actually finish this particular book in just one sitting. So it is very important for you to start small. I'll be proposing a particular technique that will actually help you start small, which is called Kaizen. So now, this Kaizen is simply means good change by way of small continuous improvements. That is Kaizen. And Kaizen can be helpful in different ways. It can help you set your goals, it can help you improve on a particular task, and it can also help you create an habit. Now, the first thing that you need to do is to pick up an habit, that is reading. This is the habit that you want to pick up, which is reading. Now, you can ask yourself that what is the smallest step you can take in order to be knowledgeable in a particular thing you are interested in. Now, recently I discovered that I'm interested in building up a business, and also I actually want to read books that are related to business. I want to build up this habit of reading books that are related to business. So that's why I got this book, The Personal MBA, The Art of Creating Business. Now, I know that this book is very voluminous, and I actually want to keep reading it every day in order to form this particular habit. Now, I have to ask myself, what steps will I take every day in order to be knowledgeable about business? That is reading this personal MBA. Now, another step that you need to take is, what is the smallest thing you can do each day to be knowledgeable about business? That is anything you are interested in. So now, the smallest thing that I'll be doing every day is to read 3 pages per day. That is 3 pages per day. That is the smallest. For me, I can go 20 pages per day. But if you are trying to build up the habit of reading from scratch, you can actually start reading 1 paragraph per day. If 1 paragraph is too much for you, you can start reading 1 line per day. It just have to be a very minute action, just very small action that you can be taking every day. So you have to stick to the process, and you have to apply this Kaizen. And also, the last step that you need to do that in order to apply Kaizen is that you should always reward yourself after every step you take. Look for things that are related to what you are doing that you can reward yourself with. So that is that. And also, you have to gradually increase the pages. So if you started with 1 page per day, you can try 5 pages per day next time. And if you keep doing this over time, you find yourself that automatically you just pick up a book and read. So now there's one last technique that will help you to actually create the habit of reading. Now, most of the time, students actually, or people generally, actually have distractions around. You have your phones, you have your system, you have people around you that might not help you focus whenever you want to do this activity. So it is very important to put yourself in a situation whereby you don't have distractions around you. You can turn off your phone, turn off your system, turn off anything that can distract you, and put yourself in a situation whereby you'll be very bored. Put yourself in a situation whereby that is so quiet, because at this time you'll be forced to pick up the book and read. So, and reading is a very focused venture. You can't read without being focused. So you have to remove every form of distraction if you struggle with being distracted at any point in time. So one of the reasons why students don't find reading habits very easy is because they find it very difficult to understand anything they read, and because of this they fall into the trap of cramming because they don't like reading, and they wait to the end of the exam and they tend to fall into the trap of cramming. So this next video will actually help you to understand anything you read instead of memorizing, which will help you remove the fear of actually creating the habit of reading. So if you found this video helpful, please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to check out this video. So thank you so much for watching, and see you for the next one.